What if I told you the reason wedding rings are worn on the fourth finger isn't one clean answer? It's a mix of a romantic myth, practical everyday logic, and a tradition that got repeated so many times it started to feel official. And once you hear the real story, you'll notice something funny. Different countries don't even agree on which hand the ring should go on. So clearly, nature didn't decide this. People did. Welcome to the Smart Side, where we learn how everyday things really work. So today, why the fourth finger? Why not the thumb, the index finger, or the middle finger? And how did the world quietly agree that this finger is the ring finger? Let's start with the story almost everyone has heard at least once. Because it's romantic, it sounds ancient, and it's the kind of thing people love saying at weddings. A long time ago, people believed there was a special vein running straight from the fourth finger to the heart. They even gave it a name, the vena amoris, which basically means the vein of love. So the idea was, put the ring on that finger, and it's symbolically connected to your heart. It's a great story. It feels poetic. It feels meant to be, but anatomically, it's not true. All your fingers have veins, and they all connect through the same system. There isn't a secret love vein that goes from that finger to your heart like a private highway. Now here's the interesting part. That myth didn't die. It survived for centuries. Why? Because traditions don't survive by being correct. They survive by being memorable. And honestly, this finger has a vein to the heart is the kind of explanation that people repeat without checking. Especially when everyone is dressed up. Emotions are high, and somebody's trying not to cry. But if that vein story isn't real anatomy, then what actually made the fourth finger the chosen one? This is where it gets good, because the real answer is more human. It's a blend of symbolism, influence, and convenience. Let's go back even further. Rings have been used as symbols for a very long time. In ancient cultures like Egypt and Rome, a circle was an easy symbol for eternity, no beginning, no end. That part is simple and powerful, and you don't need a dictionary to feel it. So the ring itself made sense. But the finger choice, that wasn't written into nature, that was built by habit. As Roman and later European traditions shaped wedding ceremonies, the ring became a formal part of the process. And once religious ceremonies and social customs start repeating something, it spreads fast. Because weddings are one of the most copy-paste human events ever. People don't just get married, they follow a script, and the script gets passed down. Now here's the practical part most people don't think about, but it's probably one of the biggest reasons the fourth finger won. Most people are right. That means your right hand is doing the rough work all day, opening doors, carrying bags, grabbing handles, writing, lifting. So if you wear a ring on your dominant hand, it gets knocked around more, it scratches more, it snags more. So over time, wearing the ring on the non-dominant hand became the more comfortable choice, not because it's romantic, because it's less annoying. And then comes the second practical question. Okay, on that hand, which finger? The thumb and index finger do a lot of gripping. The middle finger is right in the center of everything. The pinky is small and can feel awkward. But the fourth finger is in this sweet spot where it's visible. But it doesn't do as much heavy work. It doesn't constantly press into objects. It's less likely to get in your way. So the fourth finger becomes the I can actually wear this all day finger. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. Because even if the finger became popular, the hand is still debated. In many places like the US, Canada, and the UK, people usually wear the wedding ring on the left hand. Some people say it's because it's closer to the heart, which sounds nice. But realistically, it's mostly tradition. But in a lot of other countries like Germany, Russia, and several Eastern European cultures, the wedding ring is often worn on the right hand. So what's the correct one? There isn't one. It depends on where you're from, what you grew up seeing, and what your culture calls normal. And that's the clue that gives the whole thing away. This isn't biology, it's a shared agreement. It's a tradition that works because we all recognize it. Now here's another detail that makes the fourth finger feel right. It's subtle. A ring on the index finger can look like a statement. A thumb ring feels bold. A middle finger ring is very noticeable. But the fourth finger is quiet. It doesn't scream, "Look at me." It says, "This means something," without trying too hard. That matches the whole point of a wedding ring. It's not just jewelry. It's a symbol you carry around every day. And depending on the tradition, the rings can even move. Some people wear only one ring. Some people don't wear rings at all and choose a tattoo or something else. So the rule is really just a common habit that became popular enough to feel like law. So here's the real answer. Wedding rings ended up on the fourth finger because people loved the romantic story. Cultures repeated the tradition until it became standard, and the fourth finger is honestly one of the most comfortable places. Its symbolism, backed by convenience, turned into tradition. And now it's so normal, we rarely stop to ask why. If you enjoyed this and learned something new, I'd really appreciate it if you hit like and subscribe.